Good afternoon, everybody, from Paladins Stadium here on the beautiful campus of Furman University. Welcome to another Furman Football Monday. I am Dan Scott, the voice of the Paladins, along with head coach Clay Hendrix. Furman coming off a 13-3 loss at Chattanooga and looking ahead to this coming Saturday's trip up the mountain to Western Carolina for what my buddy Daniel Hooker, the SID at Western Carolina, likes to call the annual Battle for Purple Supremacy. Hello, Clay. How are you?
I'm well.
Tough Saturday afternoon in Chattanooga.
Yeah, it was. Hats off to Chattanooga, really good football team. You and I were just talking. I've been part of this league 28 years. I don't know if I've ever seen a more talented football team in this league. I'm trying to remember back, I think maybe that 96 Marshall team, who we played twice that year. A little different time with the Randy Moss team. There have obviously been a lot of great teams. We've had some, but just sheer talent. And they've got a good team, but sheer talent. I just don't know if I've ever seen a group. And, a lot of that's, transfer world to 2021 and the extra COVID time. But they're a talented bunch, and particularly that way defensively. So.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week in previewing. It was a Chattanooga team with 3 seventh-year players, 11 sixth-year players, and I think it was 14 fifth-year players. So they were not only talented, but to call them veteran would be an understatement.
Yeah, it really would. I was sitting there, played 2 quarterbacks against us, and those 2 guys have a combined 11 years of college football, and our guys working on month 4, and so really proud of our kids. Our defense battled and a physical football game, which I knew it would be, and they gave us a chance, and we just kept thinking, man, if we could pop a play here or there, having a chance to get a big play, and certainly if we had gotten points after the short punt or gotten a touchdown after that, but stayed within striking distance. We just couldn't execute well enough against them, really to get a lot done offensively to help our defense out.
Two things that kind of jump out as we take a look at the game summary here. Number one was they go right down the field on their first possession, run it at will, get the touchdown to go up 7-0, and you're thinking, man, this could be a long afternoon if they're able to do that consistently. But your defense, as you said, really got its bearings about it and held them to 2 field goals the rest of the way.
Well, they did. Obviously huge play. They did the same thing on the second drive and came down and decided to throw it down there inside the 5, and Travis made a big play and got us a pick. And then after that, really, I really, Dan, other than probably a few missed tackles, which they've made everybody miss tackles, and so there's some third down things we got to, really the 2 field goals came after conversions of 2 third and longs, and it's something we're continually working at. But I think other than that, our defense, they gave us every opportunity to have a chance to stay in the game, win the game.
I think the stat is against FCS level competition, you throw North Carolina State out, you're giving up about 14 points a game defensively. I mean, that is pretty much championship caliber defense when it comes to the bottom line, how many points you give up.
Well, that's really the only stat that matters. It's kind of like offensively, you can yards all you want, but you got to be able to score points, and so we have done a great job in that aspect of it. And our kids, we got a really odd week this week with a mandated Tuesday off, which I think people that came up with this didn't have football in mind. We got back about midnight on Saturday night, and then we had to turn around and go all day yesterday and to get our Monday practice in, and then we're going to have to go again tonight just to get our other practice in. Our kids will be off tomorrow, so it's been a little bit unusual. But our kids came back, and somebody asked me if they surprised me. I said, no, they're Furman football players. I wasn't shocked at all how they responded. Had great practice last night, and we'll come back tonight and have to do the same thing.
The other point that I was going to bring up is against Chattanooga, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities for big plays. And I can recall 2 plays in the passing game. One that if Jace gets a little more air under the ball in the first half, instead of throwing the line drive down the middle of the field, you've got, I think it's Miller running wide open for a possible touchdown. And then you had the play in the second half that you had the receiver behind 2 defensive backs. Couldn't connect on that. We've talked all season long about leaving points on the field, but that's usually multiple plays. You only had those really 2 big-time opportunities against the Mocs.
Yeah, really the play before the pick we threw, Josh was wide open, and he just, should have let the safety clear, and Josh had beaten the guy by 5 yards. It would have been really probably an easy touchdown, and we throw a pick the next play. And then, the other deep ball, Josh almost made a catch on. When he was ready to throw it, he got some pressure, had to adjust his feet, and then couldn't get quite as much on the throw. But, I knew it was going to be that kind of game. When you get a chance to make a play like that, we got to be able to make it. And like I said, we didn't. We've certainly be able to hang in there with them and keep pressure on them.
Before we get to the break, Travis Blackshear, his 5th interception of the season, which is the most by a Furman defensive back since Cam Newton had 6 back in the 2002 season. Young man continues to play well for you.
Yeah, he does. He was in a really good position there, and obviously that was a big play in the game. Get his hands on the ball. Might have wished he'd stayed in the end zone, but he made a pretty good return out of there too.
Hey, wait, what's his argument? Hey, I almost made it out to the 20, Coach.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
right? This is Furman Football Monday. I'm Dan Scott with Coach Clay Hendrix. He's going to step out during the break, and we're going to do our weekly player interview, this time with kicker/punter Timmy Bleekrode. He'll be in the hot seat when we come back in just a moment. Furman Football brought to you by BMW, Bon Secours, and Ingalls. Stay with us.
When you look at a diamond, what do you see? A multifaceted stone of remarkable strength, formed under intense pressure to shine brighter than all the rest. Hard edges, clean lines, with a fire inside. When you look at a diamond, what do you see? Ingalls, proud sponsor of Furman Athletics.
With a full range of BMW X vehicles available, no matter what adventure lies around the corner, there's an X for that. Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Staying healthy has never been more important. Regular exercise can help both prevent and fight illnesses. At the YMCA of Greenville, we are ready to help you and your family build your strength, endurance, flexibility, confidence, and immunity with personal training, group exercise classes, swim lessons, youth sports, and more. All from a clean, safe, and fun space. Join the Y today to protect your health.
A big bow box says a lot about a person. Like they have a mighty hunger, a powerful thirst, and great taste when it comes to pro football teams. Game day and beyond, rep your Carolina Panthers with an official team big bow box.
Furman Football Monday continues. I'm Dan Scott. Another beautiful view of campus and the bell tower high above from the sky. Our player guest this week is redshirt sophomore kicker/punter Timmy Bleekrode, the Alpharetta, Georgia native, who averaged about 47 yards a punt against Chattanooga this week and has been just fantastic in the field goal game. Only 2 misses. What are you, like 12 for 14 now or something along those lines? It's been a nice run for you.
Yes, sir. It has. It's made it a lot easier with Julian Ashby and Luke Bynum. I mean, they've been great all season too, and the blocking as well. So making my job a little bit easier.
You know, kickers in a lot of ways are like offensive linemen, and that as an offensive lineman, nobody notices until he gets called for holding. A kicker, you're the one who gets all the blame if a kick is missed, but I think a lot of times people don't understand the symmetry that has to go snap, hold, kick, and all happen within, about a second and a half or something like that?
Exactly. 1.5 seconds usually. Even less than that. Like 1.3 is ideal, but I mean, they've been doing a great job all year, and I mean it's understandable that if we miss we get blamed, but that's why we try to make it perfect every time we go out there, practice it all throughout the week.
How long does it take to develop a chemistry between snapper, holder, and kicker? We always hear chemistry between, quarterback and receiver and the work that takes. Does it take similar amount of work to develop the chemistry between a snapper, holder, and kicker?
It definitely takes a little bit of time. Like all camp, we were working with Luke Bynum because he's new to the holding game this year. And at first, I mean, you don't get the right spins at first, but it took him just a couple weeks, and, I mean, he was ready to go. Right at the beginning of the season, he was good. So, I mean, it's not going to come immediately, but we put in some good work over camp.
And you have to kick it regardless, right?
Yes, sir.
You have to swing the leg regardless of where the ball is, and then you end up getting the blame if something goes wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's what you signed up for.
Exactly.
I have a question submitted for you. In fact, are there any NFL kickers that you look up to or try to be like?
I mean, the obvious answer I'd say is Justin Tucker. I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. And another guy I like watching is Harrison Butker on the Chiefs, and then Young Hoku on the Falcons. I always watch. He's as consistent as they come. So I like to watch their game and see how I can improve my game based off the stuff they do.
Is it a style imitation, or is it just watching little nuances about how they do what they do? What are you looking for?
I look for their approach and their swing and their follow-through. I mean, you got some, like Matt Bryant, for example, when he used to kick for the Falcons, his follow-through was barely anything, but his technique was so perfect that it would always be good. But Young Hoku is different, and Harrison Butker, their follow-through, their leg comes all the way up, and it's different. But I just take notes every time I watch it on a Sunday. I'm always the guy on Sundays, like, when a field goal or extra point pops up, like, I'm always interested in watching that. Everyone else is starting to check their phones because they don't care.
What are you majoring in?
I major in business administration.
With a hope to be what?
I haven't thought that far yet.
It's one semester at a time, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The reality of the situation is that this football team right now, the playoffs are pretty much off the table at 4-4 and 2-3 in the league, but there's still something to play for, isn't there?
Yes, sir. I mean, for these seniors and these fifth-year guys, I mean, we have 3 more opportunities, and no one wants to give up yet. I mean, we still got 3 more great opportunities. We got 3 good opponents coming up, so I mean, we're just gonna make the best of what we got working with right now, and we're gonna go out there and do our best.
All right, we've got some highlights of Timmy Bleekrode in action as we continue visiting with the redshirt sophomore kicker out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Your season long this year is 51 yards. Where do you feel like the outer edge of your range is?
I mean, that kind of depends on the wind, but usually when there's no wind, I tell Coach Byers and Coach Hendrix 52, 53 yards. But, I mean, there's been games where I've told them 55 yards is where I'm comfortable with, but just depending on the wind. So.
Yeah, 55 yards is the school record, by the way.
Yes, sir.
So you know that, right?
I watched him do that against Western.
Yeah, Grayson Atkins and John Croft Hollingsworth actually share that record. So you're bearing down on it. 51. That's not too far away.
I guess not.
Is that something you think about?
What do you mean?
As far as, hey, that's a record I'd like to own?
I mean, I actually didn't know it was a record until I was just reading something out there a couple minutes ago. But, I mean, 55, if I can hit that, I would definitely remember that one forever.
I got you. All right, you ready to play 5 questions?
Let's do it.
We are going to go down Ingalls Aisle 5 with Timmy Bleekrode, the redshirt sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia. All right, question number 1. Going back to high school, have you ever played any position other than kicker?
I used to play, believe it or not, running back, but not on varsity. I was mainly 7th through JV. I was a running back. I think I was pretty good at it, but I figured kicking probably would be a better future for me.
When did you make that decision?
Going into 11th grade. I still played running back in 10th grade, but I started seriously kicking 9th and 10th grade. So
did it have anything to do with the fact that you didn't like to get hit, or you just had that natural talent?
I think it was the fact I didn't like to get hit, so I would avoid the tackles.
At least he's honest. I love it. All right, question number 2 on Ingalls Aisle 5. If you could have any job in the world, taking your major into or out of consideration, what would your dream job be?
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, ideally, I'd like to play football for as long as I can. I mean, that'd be a pretty good job being a NFL kicker, but
That would be the obvious answer, wouldn't it?
I think so.
All right, question number 3. Which do you prefer, kicking or punting?
I prefer kicking field goals, but I feel like since I've been in college, I've been a better punter. I mean, they both have their benefits, or what I like and what I don't like, but I like the kicking field goals because I'm getting points on the board for the team. So,
Okay. Question number 4. What's your hidden talent? What are you good at that maybe nobody knows?
I took band class in high school, and I used to play the saxophone, and I still know how to play it. And I mean, there's been a couple times on campus where I played the saxophone, but I don't think many people know that about me.
Well, see, now we could start to put together a little, maybe a little jazz quartet here because I play trumpet.
Nice.
So we, find a couple more folks in there, and we can see what we can come up with. All right, question number 5. You're from Alpharetta, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
What's your go-to restaurant in Alpharetta? And it can't be a chain. It's got to be someplace the locals go.
One of my favorite restaurants is a pizza restaurant called Pasta Vino, and it has some of the best pizza I've ever had. Ever. I mean, it's in a shopping center that no stores can even stay in, but this has been there at least all my life, so I usually love going there when I'm back home.
What's your go-to pie?
I mean, we usually just get a pizza and split it with the family. And
I mean, but what do you have on it? What kind of toppings?
we're kind of plain. We usually just go for the cheese pizza, maybe pepperoni or sausage too.
Okay, all right, good deal. So we always like to find these little places to go eat when we go on the road. So this question is a constant. Every time I do an Ingalls Aisle 5, it's a constant. What are you looking forward to over these final 3 games of the season as we get set to wrap it up?
I mean, I feel that our team has so much more than what we've shown, and I'm looking forward to seeing these last 3 opportunities and what we can do. Because I mean, we got athletic guys on our team, and I feel like we haven't played to our potential yet, and we still can. So I'm looking forward to seeing that this next 3 weeks.
And you get to start this week up in the mountains.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for it.
Western Carolina.
I remember that stadium 2 years ago. It was one of my favorites out in the mountains, and I like that atmosphere over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful setting. Timmy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is Timmy Bleekrode, the redshirt sophomore kicker from Alpharetta, Georgia. This is Furman Football Monday, brought to you by BMW, Bon Secours, and Ingalls. And after the break, Clay Hendrix will rejoin us, and we'll close out today's show by looking ahead to the matchup with the Catamounts on Saturday in Cullowhee.
When you look at a diamond, what do you see? A multifaceted stone of remarkable strength, formed under intense pressure to shine brighter than all the rest. Hard edges, clean lines, with a fire inside. When you look at a diamond, what do you see? Ingalls, proud sponsor of Furman Athletics.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Staying healthy has never been more important. Regular exercise can help both prevent and fight illnesses. At the YMCA of Greenville, we are ready to help you and your family build your strength, endurance, flexibility, confidence, and immunity with personal training, group exercise classes, swim lessons, youth sports, and more. All from a clean, safe, and fun space. Join the Y today to protect your health.
Spink's chicken tenders aren't just fast and fresh. They're crispier, crunchier, juicier, saucier, spicier, legendary-ier. Oh, so many options. One easy stop. Spink's, making life easier. Spink's drinks aren't just fast and fizzy. They're fruitier, chewier, bolder, creamier, slushier, bigger, refreshing-ier. Oh, so many options. One easy stop. Spink's, making life easier.
This is Mountain Dew. A
A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do.
Furman Football Monday continuing here on Facebook Live and Furman's YouTube channel. I'm Dan Scott, the voice of the Paladins. Clay Hendrix is back with us. I think I mentioned this to you quite a bit, but I really enjoy talking to your players. The middle segment of this show is fun. They all handle the Ingalls Aisle 5, the rapid fire stuff we try to have fun with. They all handle it very well.
Well, they do. They're an incredibly bright group. Credit to Furman and the job Furman does preparing our guys for life beyond. And I tell recruits all the time, I think one of the best things our Furman does is prepare them for whether it's grad school, whether it's going into the workplace, you name it. But we work hard on the presenting themselves part, and obviously a lot of that came from their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty ready-made product when we get them.
I think before we are done this football season, I think I'm going to play 5 questions with you, just to put you on notice. See, find out a little bit more about Clay Hendrix. What else do we need to know to wrap up the talk about Chattanooga?
Not just that, obviously, Dan, we just gotta keep getting better. I mean, we just, we are where we are with 2021. I think this fall is continuation where we were in the fall. We didn't really add any players, with the exception of some freshmen, and we're progressing. I'd love for it to go faster than it's going. I get asked a lot, what do you change? What do you change? Well, what do you want us to change? I think we've changed a few things. I think we've been really close, and it's just the level of execution is the only thing that's going to get us over the hump, and it's a work in progress. I've never been a part of a team that wasn't the work, but when you got particularly some really young guys in some really key spots, and you play against some really good teams, that's a tough combination. And our kids are handling it, working, and doing everything we ask of them. They're sticking together, and again, I wish we could speed it up, but it's just right now a little bit of where we are with, the COVID stuff, the inability to, deal with some of the transfer stuff. I mean, we're going to see it this week, a team that looks like a completely different team from what they had in the spring.
Yeah.
Because of who they've added. So it's just, we've got to adjust and keep pushing forward.
SoCon standings on your screen there. You see Furman squarely in the middle of the pack, and 4 teams still with 1 loss going into the final 3 weeks of regular season play. I mean, this is going to be, I would imagine, at least a 2-bid league to the playoffs, Clay, and maybe 3.
I don't. We'll see about that. I know nationally sometimes our league gets a little bit of a tip because of those major school big conference leagues, which I can't say aren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think it'll come down to the last week, and we play one of those teams too, so we got a little say so in the matter. And no, I think it'll come down to the last week. So.
I asked Timmy kind of a version of this question. I'll ask you, knowing the pride that you and your staff and the players all take in this program, and knowing now that the playoffs are pretty much off the table this year, do you see any way at all where motivation for these final 3 games is going to be an issue?
I really don't. I mean, we've talked about it. We already talked about it with our team, and I just think we talk about character around here a lot, and the character really shows through more tough times than any time. And we've had a little bit of tough times for this season, and this group continues where they Saturday they fought to the bare last play, and we had chances. We really did, even though I know we didn't play particularly well on offense. Certainly felt like we could have got it done the week before. Didn't get it done. So, and again, the only way you get over that hump is you just keep fighting, keep sticking together. And I think I don't really have any doubt about our player staff, handling it in that regard. And, I think they'll come out tonight excited to practice, and we expect to go play really well Saturday.
There's an old saying that adversity doesn't build character, adversity reveals character. You buy into that?
Oh, absolutely. absolutely. And I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it with this group, and I've seen even how much we've grown up since even the spring. And again, I hate to say it, but I kind of see these two seasons are kind of one and the same, particularly at a place like ours where your roster didn't really change. You know, other than you lost a few guys, you know, from the spring class. So it's just, you know, we're not where we want to be, but I'm excited about the group we've got coming, and young guys, and you know, obviously our sport is a quarterback-driven sport. I like the progress Jace is making. He had tough day Saturday, as a lot of guys did, and but he'll only get better as we get better around him.
All right, let's start to turn our attention now to this weekend at Western Carolina. The tell of the tape on the screen as we look at some of the number comparisons between these teams, running it for exactly the same. They are racking up some more passing yardage. You see the scoring numbers there. Kerwin Bell has come in, and if you know anything about him, he's an offensive guy, and you talked about the number of transfers they've brought in. The record doesn't show it, obviously, as we saw a moment ago, but this is a team that can score some points. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, you know, we just talked about the quarterback position. They bring in a 6-year quarterback who's now at his third school in the last 3 years, and who was running the exact same system that they're running at Western somewhere. And he brought a tailback, his best receiver, and a couple offensive linemen from the same system. So, you know, but again, that's the world we're in right now. So, no, they have some weapons. You know, been in a bunch of games, have scored some points, have been in a bunch of games, and completely different in lots of ways. How they look, the roster's vastly different. And, you know, I've won a couple of games here and got a little confidence. You can see that in them, and it'll certainly be a big challenge for us. You know, we just need to worry about ourselves and continue to do things we have to do to execute at the level we need to execute at to go win.
I'll tell you how life comes full circle. Back in 1991 and 92, I lived in Titusville, Florida, and was working as a freelance correspondent for the Florida Today, which is, of course, the USA Today and all of those Gannett entities. And Kerwin Bell, I covered him when he was a quarterback for the Orlando Thunder of the World League of American Football. Seems like a lifetime ago. Health-wise, as we get set to wrap up, how are we going to be going into this one?
Well, you know, we lost Bryce Stanfield Saturday, and I think we won't have him back the rest of the year. Still kind of waiting to see his foot injury. You're really playing great for us. Now that's now two of our three defensive tackles we've lost for the year. You know, so London Lewis, we'll have to shuffle some people around over there. We have had some depth there. I don't think we'll get him back. And then Devin, we'll see about Devin. He practiced last night. We'll just see what he's able to do this week. Otherwise, not bad, particularly out of a game like that one. That's the game you seem to get people beat up in because it was such a physical football game because of the styles of play. But overall, not bad. You know, at this point of the year, and we got enough to get on the bus and go up to Cullowhee.
Well, time to get things headed back in the right direction, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. I'll just remind you from a radio broadcast standpoint, it's a 2 o'clock kick, so the Pepsi Countdown to Kickoff will commence at 12:30 p.m. from Cullowhee. We look forward to having you on board with us. If you can't make it to the game, we'd love to see you up the mountain in that beautiful setting. This has been Furman Football Monday, presented by Ingalls, Bon Secours, and BMW. And once again, we thank you for tuning in. For Coach Clay Hendrix, for Byron Apt and his crew, I'm Dan Scott, the voice of the Paladins, saying God bless you and so long, everybody.